let's talk about my latest knit and crochet projects, y'all. Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so I have lots of fun projects to share with you all. A little crochet, a little knitting, because I enjoy doing both. All right, let's get started. Okay, so up first, we have the home cardigan designed by Kadri. So this is a paid pattern, and I used, so it calls for a bulky weight yarn. Or you can do one strand of lace with one strand of Aran weight yarn to make a bulky weight yarn. But I just decided to use one strand of bulky weight yarn. All right, the bust circumference for this pattern ranges between 41.5 to 67 inches. And in centimeters, that is 105 to 170. So the size that I made was a size 3 medium because I am making this as a gift for someone. So unfortunately, I do not get to keep this, even though I really want to. All right, so it does have between 8 to 10 inches of positive ease, and in centimeters, that's 20 to 25. So let's talk about the yarn that I used. I used Knit Picks Brava Bulky in the colorway 25732 Solstice Heather, and it is 100% acrylic, and it is lovely. I'm trying to see, do I have any? I was trying to see if I had any left over. I had 3 balls left over, so that was really nice. And I am making this for my grandmother. So her favorite colors are blue and black. So I went with a blue yarn that had black specks in it. And my grandma is always cold. So I really hope that she gets a lot of wear out of this cardigan. She's always freezing. So yeah, I think she's really going to enjoy this. But I did use 7 skeins total, and that's 952 yards, 870.5 meters, and that's 700 grams total. And that's for the size 3 medium. This yarn is amazing, okay? This yarn is so soft and so squishy, and it feels so good on my skin. I would highly recommend this yarn. Once again, it is Knit Picks Brava Bulky. They also have Brava Worsted and Brava Sport, and I think they might have a fingering as well, but it is a good line of yarn. And also, the thickness of this yarn makes the project go by so fast. All right, so the hook size, see, I crochet and knit. The knitting needle size was a US 10.5, 6.5 millimeter. Also, I used a US 10, which is a 6.0 millimeter, and a US 8, which is a 5.0 millimeter. My gauge was slightly off, so I used a US 10, 6 millimeter for the body and sleeves, a US 9, 5.5 millimeter for the body ribbing and sleeve cuffs, and a US 8, 5 millimeter for the button band. And I used my ChiaoGoo interchangeable knitting needles and my ChiaoGoo shorties. So some of the techniques that you will need in order to make this cardigan include long tail cast on, knit, purl, slip, slip, knit, knit 2 together, German short rows, make 1 right, and make 1 left. And so I did have to watch a tutorial to help me remember some of these techniques. For example, when it came to the German short rows, I had forgotten how to do the double stitching. So I did have to watch a tutorial for that. And also I had to watch a tutorial on how to pick up stitches on the cast off edge. So I had to watch a tutorial on that. So that was nice. I mean, that's the great thing about YouTube, is that there's tutorials for all the knitting and crochet stitches that you can think of. So I did make one modification. I bound off in regular rib instead of the tubular Italian bind off. I'm just not comfortable with that bind off yet. And so I just did a regular rib knit one, purl one, bind off, and it turned out just fine. So I also picked up less stitches for the button band than specified. I tried my best to pick up the amount of stitches that were specified in the pattern, but I just could not get to that number. So I actually ended up picking up 10 less stitches than what was specified. But once again, the button band turned out just fine. I'm going to show you all some video of me wearing this so you all can see how the button band falls. But, you know, I just had to pick up less stitches. But like I said, it turned out just fine. So I did wet block this by soaking it in water. Then I towel dried it and put it in the dryer since it is 100% acrylic. I sewed the buttons on after blocking, and I used 4 blue plastic buttons, and that was nice. And so even though the cardigan is a medium, it fits me, and I think that is amazing. And part of it has to do with the fact that there is 8 to 10 inches of positive ease. And so I've actually made this before. This is not my first one. I made it in a beautiful green color, and it is oversized on me. I made it according to the size that my bust measurement was, but it's so oversized because I did not take into account the 8 to 10 inches of positive ease. But this is a medium and it fits me just fine. So if I was to make this project again, which I probably will because it is a fantastic pattern, I will actually make the medium size. So ease is definitely something that can be a little tricky sometimes. I do believe with this pattern, the ease is actually built in. So that's something that I need to work on more, is considering ease when it comes to knitting patterns. So, you know, because I know that the look is like an oversized look, but I personally, with my body frame, I prefer things not fitted, but just not oversized either. So that is definitely something to look out for. But I love this cardigan and I absolutely love the fit of it. Okay, let's move on to our next project. Let me put this away. So, did I show you all the buttons? Hold on. You see my buttons? I'm so proud of these. I was like, I don't think I showed them the buttons. But yeah, there's 4 of them. I hope you all were able to see them well in the video. But there's 4 beautiful blue buttons, and I was so happy to be able to use up my little button stash. So that's really nice. Okay, so now I'm dropping stuff. Now I can move on to my next project. Okay, so I'm very excited about this one. This is the Driftwood Cowl designed by Ashley Lillis. All right, so this is a paid pattern and it is actually a test knit. And so this pattern is going to be part of an ebook that Ashley is going to be releasing. So I don't have a release date yet on this ebook, but when I find out, I'll let you all know. I'll update it in the description box below. But right now, that's what she's working on, and this is going to be one of the patterns in the book. So that's very exciting. But I can tell you a few details about the pattern. This calls for Aran weight yarn, and it comes in one size. The yarn that I used was Yarn Smith's Create, which is an Aran weight yarn, and I used the colorway 4330 Plum Purple, and it is 100% acrylic. And so this cowl is beautiful. It's long in the front and it's short in the back, and I really like cowls like this. So this is beautiful, and the yarn is so soft. It's so squishy, and look at the drape. Oh my goodness, look at the drape of this yarn. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. So I've been really enjoying working with this yarn. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the tools that I used and some of the skills that you'll need. I used a US 8 5.0 millimeter knitting needle, and I used several skills, including long tail cast on, knit, purl, slip one with slip one knitwise, and slip knit. I did knit a gauge swatch, so I was good and I knitted a gauge swatch, and I'm so glad that I did because the pattern gauge is 16 stitches and 32 rows. However, I got 17 stitches and 34 rows. So it was just one stitch off and 2 rows off. I did check with Ashley and she was fine with that, but I'm glad I did a gauge swatch because not only did that help me, but that also helped out Ashley. And so that's the great thing about test knitting, is that you're able to give feedback and work with the designer. So I really enjoyed that. And even though my gauge was slightly off, I went ahead and I used the recommended knitting needle size. And so a little bit about the construction of this cowl. You work the cowl portion first in the round, and then you knit the bandana portion flat. So the bandana portion is like, yeah, it's flat, as you can see, and then the cowl is knit in the round. So it's a wonderful construction. It does have a slight seam in the back. You can barely tell it, but it's worked in garter stitch. It would be great for beginners or advanced knitters who just want to do something a little easier and a little different. So it's a very easy pattern. It is very, very well written. And I did block it. I wet blocked it by soaking it in water. Next, I towel dried the excess water. Then, since it is made with acrylic yarn, I put it in the dryer to dry. It took about 30 minutes to dry on the medium heat setting. Now, it did take me 7 days to make this cowl. So not only is it beginner friendly, but it is also super quick. I think this would be great for a gift. If you have a last minute gift and you only have about a week or so to work on it, it is fantastic and I love wearing it. jump to our next project, and this one is a crochet project. So this is the Heart of a Rockstar Cowl designed by Rachel Newen. Now this is a paid pattern and it calls for worsted weight yarn. So it does come in one size and it is very customizable. I actually made mine much longer than the pattern calls for, but my cowl is 15 inches wide by 13.5 inches in height. And in centimeters, that is 38 by 34. So the yarn that I used was I Love This Yarn. It is a worsted weight yarn and I used the colorway white and it is 100% acrylic. I did use one skein of yarn, which is 355 yards, which is also 324.6 meters, and it is a total of 199 grams. This yarn is very soft. It is very enjoyable. It's one of my favorite acrylic yarns, and it has like a nice shine to it. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it does have a sheen about it, and I really, really like that. So the hook size that I used was a 5.5 millimeter eye hook. And you will need to know a few skills, including chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. So I actually made this for a friend who is sick, and hopefully this will keep her nice and warm and toasty as she recovers. So I'm looking forward to giving this to her. I can't wait to wrap it up. Yeah, so 2 out of the 3 projects that I've talked about today have been gifts because I love giving to people, and so she is going to be so excited about this. She had actually asked me probably last year, she had mentioned, oh, it would be so nice if I had a white cowl, and I was just like, oh, okay, you know. And then when she got sick, I thought, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to make her this cowl. But it is beautiful. The pattern is very easy to understand. I also think it would be great for beginners, but it has this beautiful texture. It is stunning. I love the texture of this cowl. This cowl is one of my most favorite crochet cowls. It is stunning. It is definitely one of my favorites. So definitely give it a try. I did wet block it by soaking it in water. Next, I towel dried it, dried the excess water out. And then since it is made with acrylic yarn, I put it in the dryer to dry. I just think it is so pretty. It fits really well. Of course, even though it's not for me, I had to try it on. But yeah, I just love the way it fits. And I think it's going to go with a lot of different outfits. Let's talk about what I am wearing. Okay, so this is the classic crew neck pullover designed by Ashley Lillis. This was a test knit that I did for her. It's been, I don't know, maybe last year, I can't remember, but it is fantastic. I did an entire video about this sweater and it feels amazing. I do believe it is 100% superwash merino wool, and so it feels like wool, but it's not irritating. It's by Paint Box Yarn. Yes, I do remember that much, but if you want to know more about this pattern, check out my YouTube video on it. I did an entire video about it. I talked about everything that I did, and I will link that video below. Okay, so I do have a special announcement. So Trish of Tie-Dye Diva and I are going to be doing a make-along together, and it is called the Better Together Make-Along. And if you'll notice, I said make-along, so it can be knitting, it can be crochet, whatever you want to use, as long as you're holding 2 or more strands of yarn together. So they can be the same yarn, like the same yarn weights. It could be 2 different yarn weights, whatever you want to do, but it is going to be starting February 1st. So take the time now to be getting your yarn together. We're going to be coming out with videos to kind of help you all pick out some patterns. So basically any pattern that holds 2 or more strands together will be eligible for the make along. And so right now, it's kind of the early part of January. So as we get closer to February 1st, we're going to be releasing more details. So definitely check out her channel as well. She's going to be handling more of the knitting side, and I'm going to be handling more of the crochet side. And so Trish and I, we're also better together because we work so well together. And so not only is the make along about holding strands of yarn together, it's going to be also about working together in general. So I'm very, very excited about this, and I hope that you will join us. All right, so let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? It's a nice, beautiful day outside, so I definitely need to get outside and enjoy it a little bit. I love reading you all's comments, so definitely leave me a comment, and feel free to click that notification bell so you know when my next video comes up, and also like the video if you enjoyed it. Also, I am still trying to reach 12,000 subscribers, so consider subscribing. I would appreciate it if you were to subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Share with a friend, share with family. I would really appreciate it. All right, y'all, that's enough yapping from me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, bye.